Santato, and I think that already the title of the talk after the comments of Professor Crick, and it's kind of demotivating, but I will insist, I will present my results, even just for my students. Huh? Okay. So, the concept I would like to discuss today is actually the fact that we try to combine upconverting materials with metal oxide to photosensitize this metal oxide in the infrared region of the solar spectrum. For instance, so this is the case of study of a metal oxide such tungsten oxide, so it absorbs the green, the blue portion of the solar spectrum. We try to sensitize it. Of course, one strategy would be the dye-sensitized solar cell. We just exploring very humble, very low profile, the possibility to use these upconverting nanoparticles. The challenge there are a number of challenges, and I think that now, seriously speaking, the question of the quantum efficiency is of course there. But apparently, talking with the synthetic chemists that prepare these nanoparticles, there would be challenges to improve this quantum efficiency of emission, and so the overall efficiency of the process. But challenges are, in particular, when you combine the two materials, the temperature of thermal treatment of these two elements that we combine in the blend. So the metal oxide that we produce with low-cost techniques, gel techniques, and then, the fact that the nanoparticle efficiency decreases if we go with a normal drying at room temperature versus a thermal treatment of 400 degrees, something like this, that is required to have good charge carrier transport in the matrix that hosts these upconverting nanoparticles. So once we see, the problem, just two words, even if you seem very aware of the upconversion process. Anyway, the upconversion process is a multiphoton process. Is a multiphoton process, so it involves at least these two photons. So it's a sequential absorption of photons, not a simultaneous absorption, photon absorption, and then of course you have to have this metal stable absorbing state between the ground states and so the secondary excited state in a way that it behaves like a population reservoir. We have in our case a sodium yttrium fluoride host. It's a very specific host, and it has been selected because of the limited photon effect in the matrix, and so in view of a maximized, of course, efficiency of the emission, and we deal with the 30, here it's written 30, it's actually 45 nanometer, the size of the nanoparticles we use. So, this is one of the material, one of the partner, these are converting nanoparticles. The other one is metal oxide that is used in smart windows as an electrochromic materials, but also in liquid junction photovoltaic cells. Not so well investigated maybe as titanium dioxide, but still, the band gap is about 2.5, and so people are using this for water photoelectrolysis without the use of dyes essentially on the surface. Okay, so what we do, we prepare by soap gel this colloidal solution of tungsten casing, and then we deposit the film in very, very simple processing. At a certain point, if you want to photosensitize, so we blend it with a certain molar ratio of these upconverting materials, and of course, we have to select the size of the nanoparticles. Being nanoparticles, of course, in the surface area is important, so the size is important. We don't have any quantum effect here since we are already in a regime. They are kind of, first of all, because of the size on the wall, these are insulating materials. And then so we disperse the nanoparticles in the solution of tungsten casing. So as we were saying before, we have issues. The first issues is, of course, and so even if we know, we are aware now of the issue raised by the colleague from Ottawa, but now we found the literature particularly not so accurate sometimes in terms of really experimental conditions specified to assess the potential of these upconverting materials for solar energy conversion or conservation purposes. So we have to well define the processing conditions, so this good compromise between the temperature to have good charge transport, but also so not to limit the emission properties of these nanoparticles. Then we have to properly define the power density that we use. It's never reported, essentially normalized over the surface area that you target. And we have to work on the molar ratio. If you have a low molar ratio, you don't have sensitization. If you have an excessively high molar ratio, you don't have charge transport. So this took a lot of engineering of the thin film, honestly. We also found the best size, for us during the research, so we had a wide range of size of the nanoparticles. Now I cannot go into the details, but anyway, we found an optimized size, and then so we adopted the planar configuration. We shine an infrared laser on our two component samples, and we went to measure the electrical characteristics of the device. This is a pattern with ITO substrate. We just opened it by chemical action an intervector distance of about 100 micrometers. So, I will get back maybe on this. I think I'm not so in advance. I can get back to this, but this concerns the challenge in terms of what is the crystalline phase, the most efficient form for the nanoparticles to emit, and so this challenge I was mentioning before. I would like to go straight, because I really would like to know what is your opinion on these results. So, if we have this layer of about 200 nanometers, with 8% of upconverting nanoparticles in the tungsten trioxide matrix, we actually observe, and here these are the bias we apply 05071, a kind of a good increase in the current once we expose to the 980 laser. Now you have here an error of 3.4, 3.5, 3.9, where R is the difference between the current in presence of the laser light minus the dark current divided by the dark current. So, first of all, before coming to this little definition, we took our time to express in the most reasonable way this effect, the effect of the light. And then, of course, we thought, since we know that the efficiency is really poor, how we can kind of prove that it's an optical effect and not a thermal effect. So the best thing we came up was really to evaluating the behavior of the W3 itself, so W3 exposed to the laser. We don't have any effect if we expose the laser to the laser, our tungsten trioxide thin films with the same bias, of course, the same, everything is the same, so this comparison is, of course, systematic. So we think we can conclude that actually there is a current that is generated in this two-component film after irradiation in the near infrared 980 nanometer, that it's likely due to the absorption of the light by the upconverting nanoparticles, and after upconversion by the upconverting nanoparticles are distinct by the tungsten oxide. Now, yes, so I will talk very rapidly. This is only to say that after these results, we are now working to explore this same material after exposure to ionic liquids, for solid state electrochromic or so energy conservation or energy conversion devices, and so we are working now with tungsten trioxide thin films in what is called an electrolyte gated transistor configuration, where the electrolyte is an ionic liquid or an ion gel. Okay, thanks for your attention. Sorry for the delay.
Questions?
Of course, yeah.
You could just come to the microphone to apologize mostly, but
no, it's very good. It's very useful.
I had just on the previous slide with the response that you get with your IR light. So you're on a very long time scale for turning it on and off.
Yeah.
If you want to separate the thermal from the optical, can you chop at some reasonably faster rate?
Let's say that this was really to show clearly the result. We can go lower. So we have a few seconds on, few seconds off, but we can go
because if you go faster, then you can distinguish because the optical signal is immediate.
Yeah, and this is going to be relatively fast. Still, if I have to say really what I think, it's kind of surprising for me. So if I do the reverse engineering, why is 3%? It's very difficult for me. So
because the control experiment without the
we don't have anything.
Right. I mean, it's not absorbing the light, so it's not heating the same time.
Now, the only thing I'm thinking is the different thermal properties of the nanoparticles. So maybe everything is reliable, but we cannot characterize electrically the nanoparticles. They are insulating. But there has to be something to do at the thermal level.
Thank you.